I'm about to say something wild here, and I'm glad we have a woman here to listen to it. I believe that uber rich, and I mean uber rich, like billionaires, I believe they should be allowed to cheat.
Why? So they can spread their wealth?
Not even so much so they can spread their wealth, because it's kind of a case where what they bring to the relationship, because they're meant to provide, right? They're doing way and beyond that.
Bro,
Like way and beyond
bro.
that.
Nah, 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 nah.
Way and beyond that.
You're
I'm
telling me
actually
if you're a
trolling a
billionaire,
little
you
bit
should
here
actually.
because I wanted more of a reaction from Uzma, but I didn't get it. I
I'm
didn't get it. She
thinking.
actually wanted
I'm
no, because you know why? Because you're realistic. So like rather than the typical person, you didn't just get offended straight off the bat. You were like, no,
no, no, no.
let me hear where he's going with this.
Yeah, because actually,
I'm
where do
pretty.
I find this billionaire?
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty. I have my emotional side, but I can listen and take on board. I wouldn't say, oh, they should be allowed to cheat. I just feel like, nah, that's taking the piss. Don't take the piss, isn't it? Like, let's not do that. But I feel that if it is going to happen, it should be a conversation that, it might happen. This is my lifestyle. Rah, 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 rah. Because it is a different lifestyle they lead. They're celebs. They're billionaires. Their life isn't
Yeah,
like our lives.
you know what's tricky for them is like the richer they get or the more famous they get, right? They get so much more options of women, no matter what they look like, no matter what their personality is, right?
Yeah, well,
And
that's undoubtedly true.
It's not a normal folk
and
situation. Yeah.
yeah, and for me, getting with someone like that, um, I don't know. I would feel super insecure getting with someone like that. I believe
What if they weren't rich to begin with and they weren't like a celebrity to begin with, but throughout your relationship they become that?
that's absolutely different. And I think in those cases, the man shouldn't be allowed to cheat.
Even though you're a billionaire.
Agreed.
No,
No,
because no,
because you
because
were
they
with
did
him
it
when he
together. The journey
wasn't.
was together. Everything was together.
Yep.
But if someone,
Yep.
I don't know. For me, I know it's such a specific point. But for
What
me,
if
I
they won
find
the
it real
lottery,
weird
bro?
when someone's already there and then got someone who jumped on the wagon. Because it's so
Yeah.
hard. Like I said, I care about intentions, and it's so hard to tell someone's intentions when they jumped on the wagon while it was
Yep.
popping.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be
Yep.
so insecure about that if I was a billionaire. Like, is this person really want to be with me for me, or is they want to be with me for the money, or
Right?
the
Because
for the
I
fame
know
of
it
the
sounds like a
celebrity?
joke, but if I was ever there, I would just be like, no, I work at McDonald's. It probably won't be McDonald's. It'll just be like a little humble job, like, and I'll just see if you start to react a certain way, then cool, I see it.
There was a
But
there
then
was
what
a
if you
there was
get
actually
no?
a post I saw, and it said,
Go-
this person just said to this girl must have told the guy, oh, I've graduated, I finally found a job, I'm making 70K a year now, this is going to be wicked for us. And the guy goes, all right, cool, I just want to let you know that now that I've supported you through that, and because he supported her through that whole situation, paid her
Hmm.
student fees, whatever, blah blah blah, they're living together. He goes, look, I need to take a break from my work now, his 6-figure job, and he goes, I need to take a break
Mm.
from my mental stress. Yeah, I just need to be off for a month, and I've got stuff lined up in after that month, but I just need that month to myself, just to
A month isn't
de-stress
even
and to
that long, bro.
yeah. And the girl goes to him, what? So I'm gonna have to pick up all the bills and take you out and do everything in that month? And he was like, yeah. So why would I do that? He's like, but I supported you throughout this whole situation. Why can you not support me now during this small period? And she was like, I'm not having it. I'm done. And he turned around and said, do you know what? It wasn't even true. I'm happy with my job. I actually don't have any issues. I actually want
He
to
was
just
just
see whether.
wow.
And he was like, I'm done with it. She was, no, I'm joking, baby. I'm joking. He's like, no, I can clearly see you weren't joking. It's done.
Just wow.
The
Wow,
question
bro.
is, though, how immoral was it on his end to test her like that? But two, should people test people like that?
Yes,
Oh,
100
that's
fucking
deep.
percent. Of course you should.
Uzma,
Because
hit it.
Sean's gonna be like, this chick is right.
even though it's a live situation,
Someone who shouts it like that has been blinded by light. You really feel like you should test
No,
them?
because what you're gonna do? Waste 5-10 years of your life and then really struggle and then find out, oh shit, this person isn't even ride and die for me. Like, why would you want to put yourself in that position? Put a little feeler out there, test the situation, and know where you stand. 100%.
Okay, so how early in your relationship do you want to put out a tester like that?
And how extreme are the testers?
Anything that gets you the answers.
Because sometimes people, with their test, it's binary. It's either A or B. There's no like A, B, C, D. Like you can't just barely pass. It's like one or the other. So in this circumstance, his test was like clear as day, failed.
Yeah. Whereas had she said, "Oh, I don't think I can support you for the month, but you know, I'll try my hardest to try and be as we can't have the same lifestyle that we had before with you because I'm not earning. I might be earning 70K, whatever, but like I need to save or blah blah blah, pay off debts, whatever. So it might not be the greatest lifestyle for the next month, but I got you as much as I can get you. Is that fine or is it straight? No, I got you, simple, done.
It should be I got you simple.
Bro,
it should be I got you simple
because
because
so much. You say it. Say it.
I was gonna say that person invested 3 years in you. The minimum you owe them is 3 years back.
Ooh.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I actually think you owe them more than three months or 3 years or however much they invested.
Yeah,
I think
because
you owe
that
them
person
more.
done it without investment backing them in the first place, right?
Exactly. They're taking all the risk.
That's why.
Let's talk it
that's
business
why I
wise.
said
They're
minimum.
taking all the risk.
That's why I said
Yeah.
minimum.
But then that's the reason why I say I hate it, aka the test, is because I'm not someone who can read between the lines very well. So if you tell me, and that's another thing I want to talk about, but we'll talk about it after, is if you tell me you are feeling okay and I trust you, I'm just going to be like, oh, well, she's okay.
Yeah.
And me being the fucking idiot, I'm going to get in trouble like, of course I'm not okay. Like, what?
How could you not tell?
Like, but
That just
10
reminds
minutes
me
ago
of
you
Shaf.
said you were okay.
Smile that I changed 1 millimeter.
I just went back to, I went back to playing PlayStation. You said you were okay. Like, because I take people for their word, you know, especially if I trust you. I'm not spending time trying to like, wait, what do you really mean by that?
No, but sometimes you can just sense it. People's vibes, people's body language.
But if you can't communicate that correctly to somewhere where I can understand, why should I then have to go out my way to Mystic Meg you?
That's too logical.
I think that's one of the biggest differences between men and women. Women assume that we know we're as good as them when it comes to body language and like reading the room. We are not. Men are horrible at body language and sensing what is outside of the conversation.
I'm more womanly in that regard. I keep shit in. Because for me, I like to assess, is it worth me to like bring this up? I don't like to just...
No, but that's different. No. Bottling it up is different than being able to tell someone's in a mood. I'm talking about specifically being able to feel someone's vibe and know if they're like into you, if they're into like way better at that. And I believe because they have never experienced not being good at that, they don't understand how bad we are at that.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I'm bad at it sometimes. I feel like it's not an all women thing. I feel like, yeah, majority of the women, but I wouldn't say all.
Uzma, 3 minutes ago, you were saying, no, you should be able to pick up on the emotions and the vibe and the body language. 2 minutes later.
But don't assume that the woman's just generally good at it, like all the time. That's not a thing too. Sometimes like there'll be those things that I might miss out on.
You can't expect a man to be doing that.
If something's very obvious, like between a guy and girl, right? So he's trying to read her. She says she's fine, but sometimes it's very, very visible by your face or your body language. You're not fine. So how can you go with her word that I'm fine? It's pretty obvious.
That's what I was gonna say. A lot of the time we communicate by like body language shit, by like texting, like even just
on the phone?
Oh yeah. If it's okay, yeah. If it's through texting or then you guys get a pass. But some people are oblivious even when you're right next to them.
I think that comes down to the woman not explaining. By the way, when I'm feeling a type of way, I do behave differently. Whatever I say doesn't really mean anything. Is how I'm behaving. And obviously they want the man to just pick up on their behavior. But if you never communicated that to the guy, how is he meant to pick that up?
Mm-hmm. Because he's just meant to
feel like
read
just-
the vibe, man.
Yeah, he is though.
Do you not feel
Read
that
the vibe.
energy in the room?
Not everything has
Did
to
you
be
not feel that Mercury
communicated.
was in line with Venus tonight?
Not
Yeah, right.
Not
We're in a retrograde, man. Just feel
Not
me,
everything
man.
has to be communicated, man. Not everything has to be just
Why
it's
not,
easy.
though?
Oh, she's gonna.
It's
She's
two human beings that don't.
that's
that
not
don't
how
read
life
each other's
works.
mind.
That's
Why
not how
can you
life
not
works.
communicate? Why is that difficult? I can't believe she said that.
And you
Sometimes
know
there'll
what?
be emotions.
To be honest,
Sometimes the girl wants to see if the guy will make the effort. I don't know. Loads of reasons.
But what if they'll make the effort if you make the communication?
I
feel
would
the
100%
communication is through body
make the effort
language.
if you make the communication. I would 100%
But-
make the effort if you make the communication. If
But
you
the communication is through body language. Can't you read the vibes?
all right, Uzma. Do you know why dogs are amazing at body language? It's because they
Why? Go
don't
on.
fucking talk.
Communicate,
So
my God.
when I am asking you, because I can clearly see you are upset. I've asked you 6 times. Like, are you cool? Like, have I done something? Like, what's wrong? Everything all right? I feel like a moron. And I'm like, all right, you know what? You're cool. I'll just go and
Yeah,
do my
but-
own thing then.
The worst thing is you've asked them so many times. They've told you, yeah, no, I'm fine. And you're like, all right, cool. After a certain number of times, yeah, calm, they're fine. Next thing you know, it turns out, I don't know, it could be hormonal issues. They could be hungry. They could be, oh, why can't you pick up the fact that I'm hungry? Or why can't you pick up the fact that I'm on my period? Like, bro, I didn't know that, blood started pouring out your vagina and that was meant to make you like this.
I like how
Oh,
specific you had to get.
Oh, no. Things like that, no, I wouldn't expect a guy to know. To be honest, if a guy asked me 2-3 times what's up, I probably would burst and end up telling him. I can't keep it in me. So for me, I
Why
would
have
end
to
up
wait
telling
2
you.
or 3 times, by the way? Why?
Because you just have to,
And bro, bro,
you have to stress
bro,
them a bit.
Bro, after that, she said, I can't keep it in me. Because
Because some people are good
Because to
at
me,
keeping
2 or
it
3
in
times
them.
is a lot anyway. But that's her not keeping it in. So
Yeah.
what about those people who can?
2-3 times is nothing.
Exactly.
But how much
To
you need a
you,
man
it's
to
nothing.
ask you?
To me, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Wow.
And
Let's
again,
hope the person
had
who
you
you're
not
with
had this
doesn't keep it in.
Had you not had this communication with your potential partner beforehand, then how does that guy meant to know that? Oh, it's not going to be 2 or 3 times you're going to ask me. It's meant to be 15 times you're going to ask me.
Because he should feel the vibe, man. He should absolutely feel the vibe.
Why is
Man.
he blinded by the lights?
I'm hoping.
Do you not think that men don't love you as much because they're not asking you? Because they
Yeah,
don't understand
because
your feelings, so therefore it
It's
comes
one
down
of
to
them care
they're not
things.
into me.
If you cared and if you were that bothered by it, you would ask a few times. I wouldn't say 10, 15. That's being ridiculous. That's just making him beg. But I feel like
Yeah,
2, 3 times
obviously,
just shows that it does bother him. If he just asks once and leaves you to it, I'd just be like, what? So you really don't give a shit. 2 or 3 times, I feel like he would have to ask, just so I could feel like, okay, so it is bothering you and it is affecting you.
So,
You do
so
care.
it's a form
Now I
of
will
a
tell
way
you.
of a guy showing you that he loves you. Okay,
But
and
you
would
know-
you communicate that to him beforehand, saying, by the way, this is how I like to approach a situation, that this is how I feel love
Fucking
is
hell.
when...
Some things
then
aren't.
if you let him know bebeforehand, oh, by the way, when I'm upset, I might be like this.
Because then he'll just be doing it because he knows that's how you work, and he might not even really care. But he's like, oh, do you know what? She's not going to tell me unless I ask her 2-3 times. Some things you don't talk
get
about.
that
Some
side.
things.
I do understand that. I do understand that side where sometimes you wish that the person would just know without you having to say anything because you think, well, do they care enough? Yeah, look, cool. I get that side.
It
but
kills it. If you talk about certain things, it kills it. So some things are meant to be felt and known and not talked about, and this is one of those things.
It
but I
should not
just
be
feel
spoken
like it
about,
would-
did you just say?
Yeah, she said it should not be spoken about.
Yeah,
It
like,
should
I'm
not
gonna
be
sit there and
spoken
tell you.
about? So if I
Like, I'm
know
not
you
gonna
have a problem, I should just not talk about it? Or should I talk
No.
about it? Because
You can
clearly you have a
talk about
problem.
that.
She shouldn't have to tell you that she's got a problem, is what she's trying to say. You should
But
have just
if I-
understand
No,
it.
I'm saying I shouldn't have to sit there and talk to you and tell you, by the way, ask me 3 times if I'm okay, so that way I know, like, you love me or care for me. No, I feel like that shouldn't be a thing you should be talking about. That should be something,
Shouldn't you
it's either
communicate
there.
to the person, this is how I like to be loved?
No, not for me, no. It's either there or it's not. I'm not going to communicate to you how I like it. You can either give it or you can't.
Do
Okay.
you know the main problem I find in that is that we have differences and these differences are society based. Like it's because we've grown up a certain way. If I'm talking with my friends and if I'm talking, because I talk with guys predominantly, right? And with guys, if I ask Shaf how he's doing, more than likely, even if he's doing really bad, he's gonna tell me he's okay, but he's
Yeah,
not
I'm
gonna
calm.
make a scene about the fact
Nah.
that I didn't dig deeper.
Yeah, 100. But then it's different with
Yeah,
your
but
partner,
that's
though.
but that's
And
random.
that's
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. And that's what I was gonna say. Then with your
yeah.
partner, if I'm already predisposed to ask, and you tell me everything's okay, but I can see everything's not okay, I'm gonna keep asking, and I'm gonna keep asking. And like you said, you're quick with it. So after 2-3 times, you'll give it up. Some people
I'm
aren't
shocked
2-3
that's quick, though.
times. I know
Yeah,
that's
I think
crazy.
for
That's crazy. And so it's to a point
yeah.
where, if you ask me, am I okay? Like because I'm so used to bottling it up as a man, because men don't have emotions.
No,
How
100%.
am I supposed to? How am I supposed to be so vibrant with your emotions when my whole life I'm not really someone who's about expressing it? Because to me, if I tell you I'm okay, the reason I'm telling you I'm okay because I don't want to talk about it. If you keep
Yeah,
asking me, it's gonna piss me off.
or it's
So
not
how
that
am I
deep
meant?
that I have to speak
Or
about
it's
it.
Sound like my
yeah,
ex.
or it's not that deep where I feel like, you know what, we need to discuss this. So how is it that you can tell me about the vibe all you want, but if I feel the vibe's effed up and you're clearly in a bad mood, and I'm like, hey, babe, what's wrong? And you're like, nah, nothing. I'm like, all right, cool. You hungry? You want something to eat? And you're just giving me
Are
this
you
like weird
hungry?
kind of energy. I'm gonna be like, all right, well,
Oh, food.
I'm gonna like. I was joking about going back to the PlayStation because I would never dare. Like,
Because we've
I
been
would
in them
never dare.
situations.
But I'm just gonna like. I'm gonna be like a mouse. I'm not even gonna. Okay, I guess I'll just sit here in the corner and be on my phone. I'm not really even doing anything on my phone. I'm probably be playing the like classic Snake. You know, just trying to pass the time.
2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 6, 6, 2.
Yeah, but I find it really unfair that we're just meant to understand to keep pressing, or that you do want to talk about it, but you just want us to make you
It
talk
is
about it because
unfair.
we're not
It is
designed that
unfair.
way.
It is unfair, but I'm just trying to get from a woman's perspective, isn't it? It's kind of what we sort of like or expect.
I get it. I get it on one hand where you think like, is that person so much into me that they're willing to, go through them depths to get me, right? I get it, yeah. But at the same time, if you're not helping them get to them depths, is it fair? Because then the next time when a situation arises, because you communicated the first time, surely the next time when you're feeling a type of way and he does do what you wanted him to because you've explained that's how, isn't that better than just, well, he only done it because I told him that that's how I... Isn't that the whole point, though? The whole point is that he's doing it because that's how you like to be communicated with.
It's
If
crazy because
if it's not an innate
it's crazy
ability to
because
him,
yeah, it's
No,
crazy
you're
because
just telling
I get
someone.
it.
No, you're telling someone how to behave. No, I
That's
feel like when you're telling
because
someone
that's
how
what I
to
was gonna say. That's the part I get, is that you don't really want to be telling people how to behave. You kind of want it to happen naturally.
yeah, but some
However,
people just aren't predisposed to understand that.
especially when it's a culture wide thing.
Like, if
Because
you're
the
gonna
man
spend the rest of
culture
your
is to
life with this
not be
person-
expressive with emotion.
Exactly.
Well,
We're-
then you'll know regarding compatibility. Is this person for you or not? Do they make you beg 15 times, or do they just make you ask 2-3 times? Then that will give it away for you.
No, but but on the other side, if you told him one time and the rest of his life he understands how to behave with you in that situation, and he makes sure he does it right every time.
You're still
Does
telling,
that come
you're still
across
telling
fake
them how
to
to
you?
behave. Yeah, because I'm still telling you how to behave. I'm still telling you, come and ask me 2-3 times for me to tell you.
You told him one
I'm
time.
still telling you.
You told him one time.
No, but I'm still telling you. I shouldn't have to tell you. It should either
Don't-
be there
don't-
or
How
not.
can
Don't-
you expect another person to understand your mind and the way you should be thinking without going through
Because
the situation?
that's her point. She's saying
I
that
feel
like for you
when
to
you're
be
getting to know
a match, it
go on.
should be the case. It should happen naturally, is what she's trying to say.
Yeah, but we're so wired differently. And I don't just mean by girls and guys, but I'm talking about human to human. We're wired so differently. The way I look at a
so
situation, the
you'll
way you
know.
look at
So
a situation, would they to then be like, right, cool, everything else is calm, but actually I don't want to communicate, and because I don't want to communicate and the person's not doing what they want to do, or I have communicated and now the person's doing what I want to do, that means that I can't be with that person. But you're throwing away a lot.
Because I think the unfortunate thing is that we completely disregard how important communication is. because how many like situations, how many dramas do you know could have been easily just resolved with like two people sitting down and actually talking?
100%. 100%.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, communication.
And there's a
key.
reason we formulated words. There's a reason why we're different from animals. Like, so to be still on the case where, like, I get it. It's nice if like someone just is so on your vibe that they just naturally feel when you're upset.
It'll make you feel amazing.
like,
You'll be like, "Raw, this person's so into me that they clock me before I clock you."
Yeah.
I
get that part. It's just a lot to put onto someone, especially like, so you don't end up communicating something. Then you get irritated because they never made the effort. You also get irritated because you start to resent them because you think they don't care as much. And then you also get irritated because for whatever reason you were actually irritated for, you never got to communicate and get past it.
Yeah.
And now that's just going to build up and build up and build up.
I feel like this is all... But this is all part of the experience and the life and the relationship. I feel like not everything should be communicated and ticked off and like, okay, this is it, this is that, this is how you deal with it. And then you're like, yes or no. I feel like some things are designed for maybe you to have an argument, and then after the argument, then maybe talk about it, and then maybe next time he'll know. It's a slow progression. You're supposed to eventually get there.
Wild to me,
not
man.
by me telling
you know why it gets to the argument though? Because it wasn't communicated.
No, but
that's why it
eventually
gets to that stage. That's why it gets so bad.
But
no, but that's like
How about this? You
hold on. One point.
Right,
Because I'll probably forget it. Is that's almost like saying that there's a reason why we get thirsty and we should get thirsty. Yeah, we should get thirsty, but realistically, you don't want to leave it that late. Like when people feel thirst, it means that it's too late.
Their body's already.
Yeah, it's already in a bad state. And
It's
for
been
you to
telling
get
you,
to
by the way-
arguments and think arguments are okay, it's like, no, it's because you could have communicated it, but no, it got so bad that you needed to argue it with emotions.
Is it more important then for you to be with someone who can just understand you without you ever having to say anything, but you might not be compatible on all the other levels, or to be with someone who's compatible with all the other levels, but you have to communicate to make certain stuff happen?
I didn't know if you were asking me or not, bro. Sorry.
No, it was not.
For me, I feel like there has to be understanding. I feel like I'm such a complicated person to understand. And if you sort of are halfway there or at a certain level and you get me, I feel like that is a big tick in my
Okay,
age.
so with your situation, like, you know, when you're playing video games, right, and you start the game, it takes you through a nice tutorial, so you know how to play the game, right? It tells you press X to jump, you press left and right to make your character go left and right. Cool. Could you just give like a nice handbook to a man, like, you know, when you start a job and you get the handbook?
No, because you're making it too easy.
Oh, by the way, here's a little essay for you. This is how I am. This is how I like to be dealt with. Is that calm with you? If it's not calm with you, cool, we'll leave it.
No.
But I feel like women should come with manuals, bro.
It has to be trial and error.
I believe the only defining point on whether it's a problem or not is whether you see it, like you personally, Uzma, see it as like a just a tick, as in like, oh, that's great, or if you see it as a drawback. Because if you see it as a drawback, that's where you run into the problems. Because, like you said, you're a complicated person to understand. We are all complicated people to understand. You think you know yourself, but you don't really know yourself. So to put that assumption on someone else knowing who you are is wild.
Yep.
Especially if it's kind of like not a complete deal breaker, but if it's something that can hinder the relationship as it goes on, yeah, that's wild.
And there's some people
but that's why I said even
they've not been through every scenario and situation too, though.
Say that again, that last part.
So there's people that think themselves, that think they know themselves, and they think, yeah, look, this is who I am as a person. I know this, but they've not been through every single scenario and situation to actually know who they are, because how they react. They just think, no, this is how I am. That's it.
You change constantly,
100%.
not only in the long term but the short term.
Boy, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, like you, and like depending on who you're around, you speak different, you behave different, you show emotions different. Like, so, yeah, it's you know, it's hard to tell someone or make it a deal breaker that they don't feel the vibe, man.
I didn't say I would do that.
So once we're done feeling the vibes.
But I'm saying they need to have.
No, you never said that. You never said that. What?
What?
No, No, because we're not having
I'm
this conversation
very-
as
I'm
like
very-
an attack on
I'm-
you. Like,
I'm-
how dare you
No, no,
think
no,
that?
yeah.
We're having
Yeah,
it
yeah.
more in
No,
a way where
I'm
it's
a
like there
very-
are, unfortunately, some
the-
people who have that as their line. Like, we had this, and like they might
No,
give like a
see,
dude
the
3
thing with me
strikes,
is-
you know, on that shit.
No, I feel like it's trial and error. You will eventually get better at it. It just depends on you and the person who you're dealing with. Like for me, I'm very expressive. So when I'm saying read the vibes, it's because I'm very expressive. You will know by my face and my body language how I am feeling. And if you're not picking that up, then you will learn to pick it up. So that's what I mean when I said the vibes. Yeah, clearly that doesn't work with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Some people are very good at holding it in.
I mean, I want to put a cap on this. I want to put a cap on this. No, just because we've obviously spoken about it a lot. And
Indeed.
as usual, it just circles, right? So to put a cap on it, you need to give a manual to the next person you're dating, and we're gonna sit there and laugh when the situation's
Nah.
Give him the manual up front, man. Yeah, let's just go on because you said trial and error, right? You're quick to say
Too
trial
easy,
and
that's
error,
too
but
easy.
yet you're not willing to trial
That's
nothing.
too easy. That's too easy giving them manual. You could give them basic instructions and where they go from there is on them.
That's
All
fine,
right,
that's a manual, bro.
all right. Because
Right, so,
like
no,
you said,
so Uzma, you had.
It's like
for
when
it.
you're playing
You had-
Super Mario. When you're playing Super Mario, they tell you, right? Okay, you do this to jump, you do this to swirl, you do this to that. But all the secret coins you find yourself. You have to know the areas to go yourself. They don't teach you that in the manual.
ooh, yeah, but you, from what you just said, you're not giving him even the jump button.
He didn't even know that there were secret coins available to find.
He didn't even know how to move forward after button bashing. He had to like press every single button. And that's the crazy thing. Can you imagine?
That's
The good
down
thing
for the
is
partner-
with
that's
video
down for the
games,
partner to explore.
if I press enough buttons, I can see where the motions are going. But unfortunately, when it's human interaction, a lot of the time you're in this stuff blind. And if someone is not communicating with you anything, I'm just like,
No,
okay,
but
I press this button.
But you do
and
the
this
same
happened.
thing. You do the same thing. You try different approaches. You try asking them
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
nicely.
Don't you know that you keep pressing the X button until eventually the character jumps?
Maybe
It was
you
never
try
gonna
asking
jump.
them a bit
It was
more
never gonna
angry,
be jump.
you know?
It was never going to jump on
Wild.
the first time you pressed the button.
Wild.
You had to wait until
Wild.
the 15th time that you pressed the button for it to jump. And then you're like, oh, I got it.
Do you?
Me personally,
because to
if
me,
I-
I want to cap it.
no, I was gonna say my last
Go on,
point. To me,
go on.
it's like an oversimplification of what life is. Life, we don't get the rules, we don't get nothing. We're not told specifically. We just have to watch from what's going on, right? And if it was a case where it was so easy to just feel the vibe, man, everybody would be successful. Full stop.
100%.
But
Because
with
we would all
women,
know.
you
But no,
normally can't
even with
feel
success-
the vibes.
Even
Listen,
with success,
women,
you have to
you
try
usually
something. It
can-
might not work,
No.
might work.
No,
All we're asking
with
is,
women, you can usually feel the vibe.
teach us how to feel the vibe. That's all we're asking. Teach us how to feel the vibe. That's all.
From statistics, it's just not. It's men don't feel the vibe. It's very obvious
So-
to us we don't
So,
feel the
Uzma,
vibe.
you had a
I
few
think what they do,
questions, right?
I think they would just expect women to be like men and just say how they feel, which is what men do. Like either bottle it up and they wouldn't ask again, as you said, how you would do with mandem. I think they
Yeah,
expect it of
100.
women, but women aren't like that. Women are fucking complicated. So I feel like you have to ask 2-3 times, and then maybe try different approaches. Maybe try asking nicely, give a break, maybe come back and ask a bit more. Okay, I know something's up. Can you just tell me so you can fix
Jesus
it? You know, like
Christ.
That's
What you
cool.
do?
That's cool if everyone's the same. Unfortunately, not
You
everyone's
do.
the same.
yeah.
Right, so
Yeah, some
let's
people
balance it,
actually
right?
like to. Even women like to bottle that stuff up. You know, so it's very hard to. That's kind
No,
of my
I had
point
an
with
ex. I had an
equating
ex
it
who
to
would
life.
only ask me. I had an ex who would only ask me once, if he ever asked me. But then I learned that's how he is. So what I would do, then
Yeah,
that
but
once he would
that's
ask me,
different.
I
That's
adjusted to
different.
him.
If
then
he's
I'll
completely
just
only
end up-
asking once or never asking, that's ridiculous.
I think he was just like, you tell me if there's. He's a bit like Shaf. You tell me if something's up. I shouldn't have to ask again and again. So then I
That's
adjusted.
different.
Then I became a bit
That's
more like, okay, when you ask, then I'll
That's
tell
like
him.
you've never been with a woman. That's different. That's different. We understand if you say okay, you're not okay.
That was a
Ask
fucked
a
up
few
one.
times more. We understand
don't
at
think
least
that's
that
fair.
much.
I don't think that's fair. I think like
Yeah.
if you've asked, I think
It
you
pissed
should-
me off.
especially if it's your partner, bro. Like receive that communication and be like, all right, cool.
But saying
Yeah, no,
all of
because
this,
like
I
you
would do
said,
this.
if
I
he
would do the
asks,
same
and
with a
that's
guy.
different. If the person's not asking, not even bothered,
Yeah, he was
So
fucked
What,
up.
never
here's the
asked?
Not gonna lie.
situation. You ask, right? The guy says, "No, I'm
Whoa.
cool," and then you keep asking. The guy says, "No, I'm cool," and you're like, "The vibe's off," and the guy's thinking, "But the vibe's not off," and then he keeps asking, like, "Is the vibe off with you? Are you feeling a type of way that you keep asking him if he's okay?" And then at one point he just switches.
I
Like,
would-
why the fuck you keeping asking me this?
Yeah, see, because of that, I would only ever ask 2 to 3 times. So it's same rule. Wouldn't expect you to ask
But
more
do you
than 3
believe?
times.
Do you
Same
believe?
back.
Do you believe the guy when he says, "I'm cool, I'm cool, I'm cool"? Is it like, okay, cool, fine?
Regardless, I've asked you 3 times. You've got a mouth, you can speak. So
Oh, you've
Even-
got
even
enough
if it's lying.
to speak. Wow.
because I asked you 3 times, not once,
Hey,
not twice,
Uzma,
3
Uzma.
times.
This is why I
You
love-
can
this
say
is
it
why I
off
love
the
it.
3rd time.
Uzma,
Surely.
Uzma.
Yeah.
Feel the vibe, man. Just feel the vibe,
I am feeling
man.
the vibe. That's why I'm asking you 3 times. Same with the
Wow.
guy.
You
If the
have a
guy
mouth,
asks the
you
girl
can
3
talk.
times, yeah, and if the guy asks the girl 3 times, exact same thing.
Right, so
I'm
moving
so
on from the
confused now.
conversation,
So
yeah, we've asked
yeah,
each
we're
other
gonna
way
have
too
to
many
move
times
on
and
to
we've
the
got
road.
nowhere. We've asked each other way too many times and we've clearly not gotten anywhere. So
It's the same rules both ways.